if you can hear me well. If you are here, welcome. It is the Ask Zaylee Show with your host, Zaylee, where we really get to connect with you guys and answer questions that you guys have in our exclusive Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group just yet, there is the link to join down below. If you are here, definitely say hello so that I can say hi back and really connect with you guys, right? I gotta get some music for that little space. Hello. Ooh, Premiere Squad. Nalise, how are you? Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm so excited to talk to you guys today. So, we are in for an amazing show. I have such goodness to share with you guys today. If you read any of the captions and any of our content that was going out today, you guys know what we are talking about. Some really interesting topics. We're talking about content, and we are also talking about backdrops, right? Hey, Shakena. Hello, everyone. It's so good to have you here. Say hello. Say hello to each other. Say hello to me. I want to say hello to you. You guys know how the show goes. Again, we are here for another Friday, and I am so thankful to have you here. Listen, y'all know I give you guys a lot of free info every Friday, and all I ask for you is to share. Share so that we can continue this show, and share so I know that this show is really impactful for you and you want me to continue. I love showing up for you guys, but listen, we need to share, right? All right, guys, so we are going to get started. You guys know who I am, but if you don't know who I am, because we have regulars, that's why I said that. I am Zaylee Barclay of ZayleeBarclay.com. I am your video content creation coach. I am a lover of visual content creation, but listen, video just gets me going. As we can see, I'm on camera. My jam is to really help you guys to get confident on camera in order to sell your products and services. So you somehow found me because of video content or looking for how to be more visual online, or you found me based on Thinkific, and I am a Thinkific expert. I have been for a few years. So that's my jam. Getting you on camera so that you are really confident in selling your products and services, and also scaling your business through video content and online course creation. Hello, everyone. I'm so thankful for you guys. Share, share, share if you can. Listen, not if you can, you can. Just take your finger and share. Sonia, we're so happy to have you here. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are in for some juicy questions, right? Let's hope I don't sweat today, guys. Whew, I have my little fan next to me, but let's hope I don't. Happy Friday. All right, guys, so that's who I am. You can find out more about me over at ZayleeBarclay.com. I am on Instagram at ZayleeBarclay everywhere. And I am also over at Start, Shoot, Grow, right? So guys, listen, I have some goodness to share because so much to share. Oh my gosh. I'm excited. So, all right. So let's get into actually the first question. So we're going to talk about content first, and then we're going to talk about backdrops after, right? So stay on if you want to hear about backdrops. Of course, the replay will be available, but listen, I need you guys here. I need you guys large and in charge. I want you here with me today because listen, it's too good. It's too good. All right. Hello. Oh my gosh. Listen, so later on after we're going to have a bit of a Q&A like we usually do at the end of the show. So if you want a question answered on the spot, definitely stay around and answer, or we can definitely answer in another show. Share, guys, share. I appreciate you so much. Now, I have a question for you before we get started with question one. And I totally forgot about this, but my question is, I want you to answer in the comments. I know a few of you guys are here right now. What's something scary that you have done in business recently, right? I want to know. I really, really want to know. What's something scary that you've done in business recently? Let me know down below because I love that. First of all, if you're with me here, you just believe in the fact that you have something amazing to contribute to this world. And listen, we are here to get it done. So share something with me and obviously with Team Zaylee in the comments, something that you have done for business that is really scary. All right. So guys, our first question is from an SSG member. I can't remember who or where I saw this question, but I knew it was something that I wanted to talk about, especially because we are at the end of the year. right? So because we're at the end of the year, we got to remember that, listen, we got to tie up loose ends in time for, the first of the year, right? In time for January, we want to make sure that we have things that we did not accomplish last year all the way together this year, right? Ramona said starting. Yes. Sonia said she launched her podcast. Yes. We want to celebrate with you. So answer this question down below if you have not. Okay. So let's go. This person said, Zaylee, I don't know where to begin when it comes to creating content. I feel like I don't have anything to say. Any tips on where I should begin? If you have the same feeling, don't be shy, because this happens to me sometimes. If you are around, you already know this is not something that is it's not rare, right? We can go through periods of time where we're completely lost and we don't know what to say. And this can happen to someone over and over again. Even though you're an amazing content creator, it can happen. All right. So if you feel like this, let me know. Or if you've felt like this, let me know. But we are going to dispel all of this because we're moving into 2021, right? And we already know 2021 is about to be so lit. Listen, let's claim that. All right. Okay. Someone said, I feel the same. So we have 5. I couldn't do this in a nutshell, so I had to break it down for you guys. The first thing is that you're not confident in what you are offering, right? Or in your offerings or your products or your services. You're not sure what you're offering. And so what you have to do is think about what you want to be known for. When you understand what you want to be known for, it's going to start coming together, right? And so this is the thing. You have to think about what solutions you're bringing to the table. We have to remember business or money is based on something that you can solve, a solution that you have. I want you to think about what that thing is. What do you want to be known for? What is the solution that you are providing? Example, I know that I provide 2 things. I'm a video content creation coach, and I also help people build online courses. But in all of that, you have the building with video, you have the marketing with video, and you have the selling with video, right? Because I truly, deeply and truly believe that video is essential for us getting to the next level, no matter where you are right now. Right? So whether you're creating your online course or you're creating masterclasses or workshops, whether you are building that out, whether you are marketing and getting to know your people better, whether you are building an audience or growing an audience, whether you are scaling and selling, you need video content. So because I know what that is for, I know how to come on and talk to you guys every single week, right? So you got to think about things like that. So think about what you want to be known for. You got to think about what solutions you are providing. So do you do that through coaching, through online courses, through working one-to-one, through doing it for the person, implementing a service, whatever that is for you? I want you to think about that. Think about what you're offering. It needs to be clear. It needs to be in front of your audience. And when you figure that out, you're then able to kind of map through what you can talk about. All right. So you want to also, like I said before, know what your products and services are. Know your solutions. Know how you are serving, because when we serve, it's easier to sell. All right. Okay. So the next thing is you don't know who your ideal customer is. So you don't know your solution or how you're helping that person or what your products and services are, or you don't know who that person is. You have to understand your ideal customer or client avatar. Who is this person? And I'm not only talking about the fact that she lives in Georgia, she makes $70K a year, she reads Essence magazine. All of those things are awesome to know, but you gotta know, like, what is Shirley suffering with as it pertains to what you can offer, right? What is she losing sleep about? What is, like a non-negotiable for her? Like, what is she, like, if you could solve this little thing, how can she then flourish or grow, right? So you have to understand that person, and you have to understand their psychographics. I love telling you guys that the things that they are thinking about, that they can't sleep, They can't, like, the thing that you think about at night, the last thing, because when we lay down to sleep, we think about all the ways that we want to grow or that we want to evolve. So what is that thing, right? So you got to tap into that, and that is also going to help you understand how you can solve that problem, how you can show up better to solve that problem for that person. And it's also going to help you understand, their pains and how you can relate to that in your content. Right? The third thing is you've got to know, girlfriend, Shirley's customer journey. If you've been here before, I love coming up with a name on the fly. If you guys were in the Thinking Color Accelerator, we had Chef Jamal. Well, tonight we got Shirley, and Shirley is struggling, honey. Right? So you have to be able to map out where Shirley is starting and where Shirley wants to be. And not only where she wants to be, but is your solution that end thing that Shirley definitely needs help with? What is it that she's struggling with that you can step up and help and offer her, right? So you have to know that whole, like from here, starting all the way to ending. And you got to think about that midway point so that you can measure success. I love saying that because I know, example, my brand, I love saying is start, shoot, grow. And I know my starters, I know my shooters, and I know my growers. I know exactly where they are in the full process of everything and the full spectrum of everything. So that when a starter becomes a shooter, I know that I want them to then be a grower. So I have that journey that path, and I'm obsessed with my people and obsessed with understanding where they are, how I can help them, what are their pains, what they're struggling with. Like, I am tapped all the way in. I can almost look at someone and know what part of the journey they're in and what offering I have that can assist them with where they are, right? And I want you to then become obsessed with your person, right? So that content is easy. You're able to understand how you can position yourself as that problem solver, right? So map out where they are and where you are taking them. And in between that process, you'll find the gaps that you need to fill in as far as content goes, right? So I know exactly where my people are struggling. And I want you to think about that. What are the gaps that you've got to fill in to take that person to the next step? And that's your content. Now, number 4 is you don't understand that social media, girlfriend, is a marketing tool. Guys, social is a tool, right? It's not so that we sit down and scroll all day. So what I want you to do is switch from being a consumer over to being a creator, right? So as a creator, you create, your products, your services, you create your income. You can create something from nothing. Let me say that again. You can create something from nothing. You can create magic. I'm telling you. So you always need to think about, you got to check yourself. I check myself consistently. Like, girl, am I consuming too much? Am I not thinking that this is a tool and this is what I use to take my people from one step to another step, or helping them to understand why I am the person that they want to work with, or helping them to understand how they can take the next step with me, or, you got to think about things like that. And I feel like a lot of people forget that. Social media is social media marketing. So when you are a business owner, it hits different. Right? So you got to remember that. And this last part is just connected to that on the whole, right? You've got to remember that if you are consuming more than you're creating, you need to switch that up. Right? You need to check yourself. And what you can do is make a content creation schedule. A lot of people don't schedule in content creation. And content creation, you got to remember, like I said before, content marketing is a huge part of your business and putting yourself out there, right? So you have to remember that when it comes to content creation, you have to schedule out time for that. No one is going to schedule it for you, or you're going to end up being that person scrolling everyone else's bomb content on social and you don't have anything to say, or you have not contributed to the bigger conversation. You don't want to be that person, right? Just looking on and, seeing everyone else be amazing. And then you walk away from social media feeling disgusted with yourself. So make time for content creation. I want you to schedule that time. For me, I schedule that time all the time. If you have questions, definitely leave them down below. We'll probably get to it at the end of the show. But guys, Please, please, please keep that in mind. Content creation needs to be scheduled. You need to put that in your calendar, whether it's, Friday nights, Monday mornings, Saturday afternoons. You must schedule it, and you have to stick to it, because it's your actions that's really going to take you to the next level, right? So think about it in that way. Schedule your content creation, and also, just so that you reduce your time on social, if you're using social media as a marketing tool, then you know that what you have to do is schedule engagement and research as well. So whether you're researching to see what your ideal client is struggling with this week, what they're going through this week, and you guys know I love to tell you guys, get into YouTube comments and see what your ideal client avatar or customer avatar is struggling with, right? Let's hope my editor cuts that out. You have to know what those people are struggling with. So whether you're scheduling time on social to do research or to do engagement could be answering questions. Engagement can also be, getting in there and responding to your comments, or it could be searching hashtags, seeing where your ideal client avatar is, and connecting with them, right? So you have to think about that. So you have to make that a must as well. Connect with people, network, yes, right? So that's why I put two things: schedule creating content, but also schedule being, there, like saying hello. All right. So guys, those are the 5 tips that I did have for content creation. And so I feel like I needed to share them because a lot of people are struggling with it. And it's not that difficult, as long as you start thinking as it pertains to, that aspect of things, you should be fine, right? So what I'm going to do now before we get into question 2 is take a few of your comments or your questions. Hello, Sydney. Oh my gosh. Let me say hi to everyone. So let me see. Oh my gosh. Guys, I'm so thankful for you being here. Hello, hello, hello. I'm answering questions so that we could kind of cut this out in post-production, because I got feedback that I talked to you guys too much during answering my questions, and you guys know that I repurpose my videos. So we're going to cut this part out, and I will put a timestamp in here if you're watching the replay of this video, so that you could hop to when we start answering questions again. Hey, Kimberly. Hey, Ramona. Hello. Hey, Suzanne. Hi, guys. Nalise, it's so good to meet you. And yes, Nalise says she's stuck, right? She is stuck in the not creating content zone. And I totally get that, right? All right. So let's see. Let me see. Sonia, like I said, congrats. You launched your podcast. Okay. Who is this? This is probably Sydney, that said she feels the same way. She doesn't have much to contribute or where to start. Whoever typed this, I hope that you got some helpful tips. Tap into your audience. Tap into the people that are paying attention. And I don't care if you have 2 people in your audience. Talk to those people, connect with those people, communicate with those people. We all start from 0, right? Keep that in mind. Let me see. Okay. All right. So I think Sonia asked, do I use a special content calendar? Sonia, I use a few because I have a lot going on. However, Later Media is one of my absolute faves. I actually did LaterCon with them last year. We flew out to LA and we had an amazing time creating for you guys. So yes, I love Later. I definitely recommend it. And you're able to schedule on Instagram. I love that you can pre-schedule Instagram stories because Lord knows. And you can also create your feed. You can do so many things on Later. So Later is actually a good choice. And I actually just saw that you said I started using Later. Right? Someone also asked, how far in advance should you schedule content for? I like to sit monthly. So I like to know what I'm doing for 90 days. So I plan for quarters, but I plan goals. I plan based on my goals and based on my messaging. Like, what am I selling this quarter? What do I have going on? What do I want to share to empower my people? How can I take them to the next level? And so I break down that 90-day plan into like months. So I know what I'm doing or speaking about every month or what I'm leading into every month, right? So I hope that was helpful. But yes, so I know basically what I'm doing for 90 days, but I feel like if you plan for longer than that, things change. Example, think about the person who probably created all of their content before the pandemic and completely had to pivot and refigure out what they're doing now, right? So, Sydney said, who said, who said that I talk to you guys too much? Listen, never mind them. But what I'm doing is just doing it strategically now, right? Okay, this is a really great question. And so Naquane said, and I hope I said that name correctly, but Naquane said, how do we know, or how do you create content if you are not inspired? This is a really good question. I think for me, I put my people in front of myself, right? So because I want success for the people that I'm teaching and sharing with, I leave behind all of my feelings in that time. Sometimes you need to step away if you're feeling uninspired. A lot of times, if you're feeling uninspired, it means that you are consuming too much. Sometimes you got to step away. You got to step away from the noise. A lot of times we're not feeling inspired because we're consuming too many things. We have too many ideas and we have not really sat down and thought about the person or the people. The second thing is, if you're feeling uninspired, ask your people how can you serve them, or what are they missing from you, right? How can you serve them better? What do they want to know from you next? Listen, I ain't ashamed. I get into the Facebook group and I ask you guys, if I have too many ideas on what I want to sell next or what I want to do the show on next, I'll get into my Facebook group and ask guys, what's more important, this thing or this thing? And my audience lets me know what they want. Ask your audience what they want from you, right? So reduce your consumption and ask your audience what they want from you. Okay. Oh, Sydney launched her podcast. Hey, girl. Hey, congratulations, Sydney. This is absolutely amazing. I'm excited for you, Sydney. You are on a roll. All right. Let me see. Stephanie said, I definitely need to get moving. Great ideas around. Wait, am I getting that right? But it's pointless without videos. Yeah, Stephanie, get into it, girl. And I know that you can do it. You're beautiful. And I'm sure that you have so much amazingness to share with your people. Put your people first. Okay. All of you guys loved Later and attended LaterCon. That is amazing. All right. Suzanne said she did a live and it mistakenly aired on YouTube, but she executed. Suzanne, I am excited for you, girlfriend. Listen, I think that you might have tapped into something that you need to do more often, right? You can, should I explain to my audience what happened, or edit it and replay live? You can do both, right? Let me tell you, things are never perfect. And another reason why I love getting on and talking to you guys and showing you the real is because it just happens that way, right? So you can get to see what's going on. Even as I do this show and as we progress, it's going to be so much more amazing because I'm always getting feedback. I'm always looking back at the show and feeling like, okay, I can change something up. I can switch something up. Something needs to be different. This is how we can improve. This is how we can market the show better. Think about your thing in that way. So you can explain. I wouldn't go too crazy with the explanation, Suzanne, but and you can replay it live as well. If no one attended, you can replay it live or send a link from that YouTube video and, have everybody go over there, right? Yes, Ramona, I hope that is helpful for you guys. And I actually have a video pro planner that is broken down into quarters. Most of you probably have it already. I'm sure the link is somewhere in the caption here, right? All right, guys. So let's get back into it. We are talking backgrounds. Let me tell you something. I'm excited to share about this, right? Because it is some goodness. So this is the thing. Backgrounds and backdrops. They're really important, right? They're really, really important. And we had an amazing question. And this question came from Freya Cooper. My question is regarding the backdrops. In your guide on the best equipment for videos, you wrote that you purchased 1.5 yards of poplin to drape over your portable backdrop. I have been trying to imagine how this looks. Is the fabric clipped onto the backdrop? Is the backdrop attached to a stand? Is the backdrop horizontal or vertical? Is there a YouTube video that you can direct me to where you're using it with the fabric draped, right? So Freya, thank you so much for this question. This is such a good question. So I'll preface this by saying this was actually way back. This was back in the back, guys. When I first started really getting serious about video content, I lived in Brooklyn, New York. We had a tiny space, and I would actually do videos in my living room. So I would have my backdrop set up in my living room, and listen, I would get it popping right there. And after a while, I was like, you know what? I never really have anyone over, so I'm going to actually leave that setup where it is so that I can plop in and actually record, right? And in trying to figure that out, I realized that one of the worst things that I ever did was I bought green screen material from Amazon, right? So you know what? I wish I had it to show you because it's so funny because my boyfriend brought it from New York the other day. It was a crumpled mess, right? So if I would take it down, it would get crumpled because of the materials that they make it out of. And so I went to, I like to say, the hood beauty supply store, right? So I lived in Brooklyn, New York at that time. And so I could have gone to the beauty supply store, not beauty supply store. What am I saying? The hood fabric store, right? Where they had the cheap fabric. And I asked the guy, like, give me a fabric that doesn't crumple, because I knew that if I bought it in green, it would, you know, I could change the colors, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, right? So we'll talk about colors and all of that stuff and brand colors and using those in your backdrop. So this was before I had any space or anything like that that was specifically for filming. And like I said, I just left it up after a while. But he recommended poplin. And so poplin is actually such a good material for recording. And the reason why I like it is because it doesn't get crimpled or wrinkled. Now, I will show you a bit of poplin, but it's wrinkled because I don't use it anymore. Right? And I've been actually sitting on it for this whole life. Actually, I haven't been sitting on it. However, let's get into what that looked like when I used to record with the backdrop so that Freya can get a good idea of what this is like. And then we'll go into green screens and all that kind of stuff, right? So if you can see my screen right here, let me know if you can see my screen. I hope you guys can. What I am standing in front of is poplin for this photo, right? So if you see this yellow photo with me on the screen, I am actually standing in front of poplin, right? And I took a picture in front of it, right? So this was years ago. Now, what I love doing is showing the breakdown of what this was like. And if you look over in the corner, you can see that backdrop. Now, I will show it to you guys in a little bit, but I actually just put this backdrop up, and I will show you my lighting in a little bit, but this was in a little corner of my living room, right? Let me just make sure that you guys can see this. Hold up. Okay, you can see. Yes. Yay. All right. So this was actually in a little corner. Now, the other thing is I just leaned. So I had one of those big backdrops that you can actually bring down. You could close it up and put it in like a huge case. And I should probably find that, right? I'll actually look it up before we get off the live. But what I did was I just left it leaned. So I was in front of a small table here, if you can see this, and that backdrop was behind me, right? And so you can see the backdrop, and I put that yellow fabric over there because yellow was my brand color at that point. And so I would always show up on Instagram or wherever I was posting content. And people actually, after a while, started connecting me to this yellow color, which is great for brand awareness. It's kind of like having a logo. You see it and you think about Zaylee, right? And so in doing that, that was what I used for all of my videos, for all of my pictures, and it worked really, really well, right? It definitely brought a lot of brand awareness. Now, let me tell you, so like I said, this is a makeshift thing, and it actually worked really well. I also started draping the fabric over it and pinning it. And guys, I was using hair clips. I wish I had a picture of the hair clips to show you, and I can try to zoom that up. But you can see those hair clips right there, right? And I would just pin it. You can probably do this also with paper clips, like the ones that you use for binders, clamps. There are things that are actually sold. There are backdrop clamps that you can get as well to pin your color to your fabric, right? Or to your, what do you call it? To your backdrop, guys. This is a collapsible backdrop. That's what it is. I couldn't remember the name of it. And that's just how we roll with live video. So this was what that was. And so you can see here where I actually have my ring light, and I had a light above the ring light, which kind of served as a hair light or a separator, right? Let me just make sure that you guys can see it. And, and I used a reflector to reflect some of that light above. If you have seen my setup now, it's not too different, right? I just have 2 extra lights on the sides of me now, but this is how I started. And guess what? You see my phone bracket because I was using my phone and I was really still getting used to my camera. So I would use my phone because it was really what I, could have just set up and gotten started. I upgraded after, and we're going to talk about upgrading after. But this is definitely where I started. So I had that softbox hanging over. I still have one above me right now. I also had that ring light, right? And that could also be replaced with a soft box. And then I had that reflector. So all of that was lighting. And this was just me filming. And I still, like you can see here, was able to get beautiful, pictures or visuals from it or videos from it, right? So that was the cool part. All right, so I am going to get back into my main screen just to see if you guys are here with me. And what do you think about my makeshift setup? Like, what do you think? Yes, Cole is here because I actually got Cole to set up her backdrop as well, right? So let me tell you something. There's power in using a color. And Cole, I'm so glad that you're here. And I'm actually referring to, and I'm gonna put this up because, girl, this is a testimonial. So the natural Cole remembers this backdrop. And I think I mentioned this some time ago. The natural Cole had a backdrop that was, so I would use yellow, and I said, Cole, get your brand color, because I knew what a difference it was making for my content and for me getting out there online. And I said, Cole, use your brand color. And so she started using pink, right? And I still associate that color with pink. And it's so funny that people still associate me with the yellow, right? So let me tell you. Oh, somebody said this is giving them life because they've been wanting info on this. Listen, if you're not subscribed, if you don't have your notifications turned on, I want to remind you to do that because we are live. And when we're live, we want you guys to be here. And if you can share, that would be sweeter. So if you know someone wants this type of content or wants to really enhance their visual presence, step their game up online, be seen, be heard, and really make an impact, definitely direct them over to the show. All right, so let us dive into what that really entails, right? Let me just get myself together here and remember what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm talking about green screens. So last week we had a question about green screens, but let me just make sure I answered Freya's question, right? So I'm going to go back to question 2 and see if, let me remove my comments. All right, so let me see if I answered that question. Yes, I use Poplin. I'm gonna show you what Poplin is right now, right? And Freya, I hope you kind of see how it was clipped onto the background, and it was not a backdrop stand. It was more of a collapsible backdrop, and I can actually show you what that looks like. If I can pull it up, but it really just leaned on the wall, right? Let me see, backdrop. I'm actually doing a live Googles for you guys, right? And we're gonna kind of see what that looks like. And we are also going to talk about poplin, right? So this is actually Adorama. So what I'm going to do is show you guys if I can get into Ecamm and unlock my screen. Okay. All right, I am back. Hey, hey, hey. Now I'm going to show you what that collapsible backdrop looks like, right? So give me 1 second. And I'm going to do a cute little screen share here. And so Freya, this is what it was. So it was a collapsible backdrop, and I probably paid that amount for it. I probably paid $59 for it. And what I would do is drape my poplin over that, right? So listen, you got to do what you got to do. At that point, you know, going back to that question that we got earlier about feeling uninspired, I just took action, guys. I just took action. I decided I wanted to show up for my people, and I wasn't gonna let having all of the fancy fangle dangles keep me back. All right, so we're gonna move into talking about poplin. So I would take poplin, and like I told you guys, this has been through some things, right? Because I don't use it anymore. And even though it's been through some things, meaning that it's been like this somewhere, it still looks, you know, it doesn't look too bad, right? It's not super wrinkled. And that was my thing. I wanted to be able to record and not have to every single time steam my fabric or any of those things. And so with poplin, even though there are wrinkles in here, if I move this back far enough, you're not going to see the wrinkles. And that's why I love poplin for this. So I would get 1.5 yards of poplin. And of course, over the years, I got different colors. But I'll tell you what this is for in a little bit. Right? So I went digging, guys, and let me show you. This was what I used to use, right? And I actually have it on a bolt. Because I was like, listen, I don't want, if you guys run out of this, that I can't have it, right? And it's one of the things that I definitely have a lot of. And this used to be my brand color, right? So this is the yellow. And then I wanted to make sure I never ran out of green, because I'm going to show you guys a hack, right? So I realized that if I had a green screen, so I got poplin in green, and I realized that I can create any color as long as I have a green screen, right? So because when I found out about poplin, I went on a poplin spree. I bought all the poplin. But then I realized if I can use a green screen, I don't have to have all the colors, so I can save money. So I got this, right? And so I also have a lot of green screen material here. This is poplin as well, right? Warning, there's a warning on it. I never opened it because I was good with this bit, but this is poplin as well, right? So I have green poplin there just in case of anything, right? And so I use this. It doesn't matter what shade your green screen is as long as it's green, right? And now what I'm gonna do is move into sharing a bit about green screens. So now you can see that I look a little weird, right? But it's because I have on the green screen setting on Ecamm. And so what we can see is that it no longer looks green, right? So we're going to have a little bit of fun here, guys. It is actually now yellow, right? And you can also see all of the things in my background that are green are turning a bit yellow. And so what happens is in Ecamm and even in Zoom, you are able to, and I love doing this. I'm going to show you inside of Canva. I just go in and I make a template that is the size of my actual background, right? So give me 1 second here. I'm going to look normal for a bit. And then I'm going to go show you guys my Canva, right? So what happens is inside of Canva, you're able to do so much. You guys know I'm always in Canva, right? But I am able to, in that, let me see. I'm able to actually create a background color, right? And I make sure that it is my brand colors. You guys know that you can put your brand colors in Canva. I make sure that, It's whatever color I want. So I have this lighter blue that I use in my brand, and I have this yellow that I use in my brand, right? I wouldn't really do a video with this color because it's way too much and it's just my accent color. So this is, let's say I wanted to do that yellow. I would just make a template, and it would be the size 1920 by 1080, and I download it as a PNG, right? Now, when I download it as a PNG, what essentially happens is I am able to put it into Ecamm or into Zoom, whatever it is, as my backdrop. And so what happens is we're moving into that green screen color again. So I'm going to look a bit weird for a moment. And so the cool thing about that is I am actually able to add the green screen, right? Someone said I just started using Canva and I'm in love. Yes. All right. So what I always do is, now this is the thing with green screen, as long as you're green, you can switch up your backdrop, right? And you guys know I'm doing this live, so bear with me. But what I can do is change the backdrop. Let me just 1 second. I just realized my scene is locked into this color. But so let's say I wanted to do that lighter blue that I was talking about. You'll see that my poplin then turns blue, right? And so if I wanted to use it as a backdrop behind me, I could do that, right? Or let's say, you guys know we have all of the beach backdrops and all of those things. So you guys can see, because it's a green screen, right? I can have a beach backdrop. So you can do whatever you want with green screens. And as long as I realized that all I needed was a green piece of poplin, it was a wrap. Right? It was a wrap. We have the modern house backdrop, and we can put that up and we're like in a cute little space. Now, here's the thing. You can do so much with green screens, but one thing that I do want to share is how to effectively use them. So I'm going to switch up a little bit and get out of the green screen craziness. I'm back again, guys. And so what you want to do is, if you choose to use a green screen, what you want to do is make sure that you have good lighting. You want to, make sure that you have good lighting. And the second thing that you want to make sure is that your green screen, especially if you want it to be really flawless, is a bit away from you. So the background is further back from you. So if you're in front of a wall, go as far away from that wall as you can, and still make sure that I'm laughing because somebody said, oh my gosh, do that again, Zaylee. But you want to make sure that your lighting, your backdrop, you're as far away as you can get from it, but that you're still in your video frame, right? So now I shared about using your brand colors and things like that, because for people who are course creators or who are actually doing more educational content, using your brand color is always a great idea. If not your brand color, then that a white wall is something that you can use as well, right? And I can get crazy with fading that green screen as well. You can see that everything that is green behind me has now turned yellow, right? In Ecamm, we're able to kind of increase the effect and decrease the effect. But what you want to make sure is whatever that green thing, guys, doesn't this look like magic? Voila, right? But you can use a green screen and be successful in using it. You just got to make sure that you have great lighting. If you have great lighting, what happens is your wrinkles disappear. Even though your poplin does not have a lot of wrinkles, but you're able to change colors, you're able to do so many different things. So I wanted to be sure to share that with you guys. And I remember, first of all, let me tell you, when I just started using green screens, I remember that it didn't have any program that was really native to it. And I mentioned this last week because we were speaking about editing last week, and I would actually have to edit, guys, green screen into the equation. So I'd have to film in green screen and then do it in post, like during editing. But now all of our amazing programs have green screens. Or has green screen capability. So when we talk about programs, what are we talking about? We are talking about Zoom. I use Ecamm. Like, all of those things have green screen capability, meaning that I can do green screen with you. I said green screen. I can do green screen with you live and direct, which we just tested a whole lot of, right? So let me know if you have any questions about green screens. I just really believe in keeping things really sweet and simple. If you are using a green screen, we don't want you to be teaching a class and you have the backdrop where you're on the beach, unless it's part of your brand, right? But if you have any questions, definitely let me know. I hope this was helpful for you guys. You guys can see my timer is now on the countdown. So guys, we made the show really impactful and succinct today. But let me see, if anybody has any questions. Let me see. All right. Let me see. Sydney said, should you ever worry about having the same background setup? Nope, you should never worry about that. I know you have the same background set up now with the plant and screen and the shelves. Should you ever worry about not mixing it up? That's such a good question. But I'll tell you something, Sydney. If you've been looking at, I think having a specific set brings it's familiar to your audience, right? Which brings them back all the time. If we think about major shows, and you guys know I love talking about these things, and you guys know I love comparing the Wendy show. She has that set. They probably change it every year, every 2 years when they petition to get finances. Yes, they have to. They have to put in for a budget if they want to make changes to her set, right? And so you got to think about it like that. Your people get familiar with. So if you have things that are near and dear to you, you can place them within your backdrop, right? And so, no, I don't believe that you should be switching up your backdrop all the time. That's not what matters. What matters is you and I and what we're talking about and how I'm able to deliver content to you, right, Sydney? So no, I don't think that you should worry about mixing it up. If you want to switch it up every year or so, that's fine. For me, my set kind of changes with my life. If I have a major life change, if I move or if something like that happens, then I'll change it. If not, girl, we're rocking out. What I care about is how I deliver this content. Right? Sydney, I hope that helps. Let me see. Yes, I use Ecamm. So that info is down below in the caption. I use Ecamm and Restream, and I absolutely love it. Right. And I also shared some, some platforms for if you aren't using Mac, right? Okay, let me see. Someone said I had to step out in faith, this could be Sydney, and start my podcast, and it flows so naturally. You have to start. And you guys know I love saying that there is no way to know success if you don't do the thing and figure out if you like this or not. Is it the right thing or not? Should I continue this or not? You have to go through the thing. You can't sit and think about the thing. Success does not happen in that way. Cole said you can actually use photography paper and tape it to the wall with painter's tape. That's what I do. I don't have a stand. Cole, yes, you can. So let me tell you, it's so crazy. I started not even with photography paper. I started with poster board. I started with yellow poster board before I got to my backdrop. Right. So I started with poster board, and I would tape that poster board to my wall. And yes, you can definitely use photography paper to do that as well. You can, and it's really a good solution. Cole, thank you so much for sharing that. I do remember that you use photography paper, but I started with poster board, and people never knew. Guys, if you go back and watch my old videos, then you'll understand what I'm talking about. Thank you so much for that, Cole. Cole definitely is on top of her game when it comes to video, right? Sydney said, yes. Woo! The Take Action Club. This is a really good question. That backdrop stand, you can buy a stand for it, but I just leaned it up on my wall behind me. Now, because I was a little way in front of it, you couldn't see that it was leaned on the wall because you couldn't see the leaning going on in my camera frame. And when I speak about framing, I mean our scene frame, right? So I would just lean it up on that wall, and that was it. Right? Thank you. I don't know who said this, but I really, really, really appreciate you guys for even being here on a Friday night with me. You guys know how I feel about that. someone said, I just started using Canva and oh my God, girl, let me see. All right. I hope this was really informative for you guys. If you don't have any questions or any more questions, we will be getting off soon. Let me see. Can you create your own pictures as your backdrop, such as outdoor pictures? Yes, you can, but it's a bit distracting. I won't lie to you. Like, you can. You definitely can, but it's a bit distracting. I like keeping backgrounds really simple. And one thing that you can do as you start upgrading for a backdrop or a background is to upgrade your lens. When you use a 50 millimeter lens, you get more of a blurred background. So that's if you have a camera, a DSLR. Even if you're using a green screen, you still have that blurred background, right? So if you upgrade and you have a 50 millimeter lens, then what happens is you have a background that is a bit more blurred. Sometimes I change my lens to a 35 or a 50 and you can see the difference here, right? Ooh, guys, I'm getting a little dry. Let me drink a little water. All right, we're back. All right, guys. Yes, Cole, the poster board. All right, guys, I love you so much. I thank you for being here. We will not be live next Friday because it's Thanksgiving, but we will be back the week after. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here, and I will see you soon.